At 50, a father I know felt like he had pressed reset 3 separate times. He worked hard. He earned well. He made the moves people call responsible. But 3 divorces had turned decades of income into legal bills, moving trucks, divided accounts, and a life that no longer looked anything like the plan. His story points to a hard truth. The biggest threats to your wealth usually aren't the coffee you buy on Tuesday morning. They're the large decisions and habits that quietly set the direction of your whole financial life. If you're in your 20s or 30s, this is good news as much as it is a warning. You still have time to make a few high-leverage choices that matter far more than perfecting every tiny expense. This is not personal financial advice. Your situation, debt, career, and family obligations are different. But it is worth looking closely at the decisions that can either compound in your favor or keep charging you for years. The first wealth killer is staying in the wrong place for too long. We tend to treat geography as a lifestyle preference. We say we love our hometown, our friends are there, rent is familiar, and moving sounds exhausting. All of that is real, but where you live can be one of the most important financial choices you make, especially early in your career. Imagine 2 graduates with the same skills. One starts in a city with few employers in their field and a lower salary range. The other moves to a market with more companies, more openings, and more ambitious people in the same industry. The second person doesn't just get a higher first offer. That offer becomes an anchor for the next negotiation, the next promotion, and the next job move. The source example makes the contrast plain. Median income around $69,000 in Kansas City, compared with roughly $90,000 in Austin or $135,000 and above in San Francisco. Those figures are not a promise that moving will make you rich. Housing, taxes, and competition matter. The point is that your income ceiling is partly shaped by the ecosystem around you. Think of Maya, a capable designer who stays in a city where every opening is a generalist role. She spends 3 years trying to negotiate a bigger raise from the same small pool of employers. Her friend Lena moves to a larger market, meets people at industry events, and hears about a role before it is even posted. The surprise isn't that Lena is more talented. It is that proximity created opportunities Maya could not see. There is even an extreme version of this idea. Workers who earn wages in Switzerland and return to less expensive parts of Italy to live. You do not need a border crossing strategy to understand the lesson. Raise your earning potential, keep your costs intentional, and let the difference work for you. Before you move, run the full math. After-tax income, rent, commuting, insurance, and the real cost of leaving your support system. But don't confuse familiarity with a financial plan. The second trap is keeping so much cash that safety becomes expensive. An emergency fund is not the enemy. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses can protect you from a layoff, a health issue, or a surprise repair. The issue starts when fear turns a reasonable reserve into years of expenses sitting on the sidelines. Suppose your essential expenses are $4,000 a month. 6 months is $24,000. If you hold 16 months instead, that is $64,000. The extra $40,000 may feel comforting in a high-yield savings account, earning around 3.5%, but the source notes the opportunity cost of not investing it in assets that have historically returned closer to 8 or 9% over long periods. Over 20 years, that gap can become roughly $145,000 in missed growth. That is not an instruction to put rent money into the stock market. It is a reminder that every dollar needs a job. Jordan keeps piling cash into savings because the number makes anxiety drop for a moment. Years later, Jordan has a large balance, but has barely given long-term money a chance to compound. The turn is counterintuitive. Being too cautious with every dollar can make the future less secure, not more. Choose your emergency fund target based on job stability, dependence, health needs, and how quickly you could find work. Then give the rest of your plan a purpose. High-interest debt, retirement contributions, diversified long-term investing, or a near-term goal. Safety and growth are not enemies when you assign them different money. Third, take relationship decisions as seriously as investment decisions. Nobody enters a relationship expecting a spreadsheet to become the story. Yet divorce can be one of the most destructive financial events in adult life. The source cites U.S. first marriage divorce rates around 40 to 50%, with higher rates for second and third marriages, and says only 15% of couples use a prenuptial agreement. Those exact figures vary by study and jurisdiction, but the financial principle is steady. Breakup costs can arrive in layers. There are legal fees that may exceed $20,000. There's the house that has to be sold or refinanced at a bad time. There are businesses to separate, retirement accounts to divide, and physical belongings to move. Court orders, taxes, and early withdrawal penalties can turn a clean-looking account balance into a complicated problem. Add new deposits, new furniture, and a second household, and a divorce can consume $50,000 to more than $100,000, according to the source. The useful takeaway is not to become cynical. It is to have adult conversations early. Talk about debt, spending, family obligations, career risk, housing, and what happens if the relationship ends. Where appropriate, get qualified legal advice before signing agreements. Love is emotional. Combining two financial lives is also a major transaction. Fourth, stop trying to look rich. This one is especially dangerous because it often feels social, not financial. A neighbor upgrades cars. Your feed is full of hotel lobbies, designer clothes, and dinners that look effortless. You start measuring your ordinary Tuesday against someone else's highlight reel. Suddenly, the apartment has to be more impressive, the lease has to be more expensive, and the vacation has to prove something. The source calls this the 30K millionaire, someone who makes $30,000 a year and spends it performing wealth, perhaps on VIP tables they cannot really afford. The details may be colorful, but the pattern is familiar. The person with the loudest symbols of success may be using debt, borrowed clothes, or 60% of take-home pay on rent. Meanwhile, people with actual wealth often look surprisingly ordinary because their money is working quietly in the background. Try a private scorecard instead. Track your savings rate, your debt payoff, your skills, your health, and the people you can call when life goes sideways. None of those get as many likes, but they make your life much harder to knock over. Fifth, don't automatically trade ownership for a slightly larger paycheck. At a startup, a public company, or a pre-IPO firm, a higher base salary can feel like the obvious choice. Cash flow matters. Bills are real, but equity deserves to be understood before it is dismissed. The source gives a simple example. Owning 0.1% of a company that eventually reaches a $100 million valuation would represent $100,000 before considering dilution, taxes, vesting, liquidity limits, or whether the company ever succeeds. Those caveats are enormous. Most options do not become life-changing. Still, a decade of optimizing only for salary can cause you to overlook upside that cannot be recreated with a small annual raise. When an offer includes equity, ask questions. How many shares are outstanding? What percentage would your grant represent today? What is the vesting schedule? What happens if you leave? Is there a market for the shares? What are the tax consequences? You do not need to gamble your rent on a startup. You do need to know what you are giving up when you choose only the visible number. Sixth, stop waiting for the perfect moment to invest. Markets always give you a reason to wait. Rates are high. Prices are high. A recession might be coming. The news feels scary. Then prices fall and the reason changes. Now it feels too dangerous to start. That is how years disappear. The source says $10,000 invested in the S&P 500 from 1996 to 2025 would have grown to more than $192,000 if it stayed fully invested. It also states that missing the 10 best days cut gains by 56%, and missing the 30 best days cut them by 84%. Historical illustrations are not guarantees, and markets can fall sharply. But the broader lesson is powerful. The best days are often close to the worst days, so trying to jump in and out can cost more than it saves. Build a diversified plan that fits your time horizon and risk tolerance. Automate contributions if you can, and learn enough to avoid treating headlines as a trading signal. The goal is not to be fearless. It is to stop requiring certainty before you begin. Seventh, don't confuse loyalty with security at work. You may love your coworkers. You may know every shortcut in the system. Your manager may say you are invaluable. But employers generally do not wake up and decide to pay you the highest amount the market would bear. Annual raises of 3 to 5% can keep you comfortable. Meanwhile, your market value may be moving faster. The source gives an illustration. Start at $60,000 and receive a 3% raise every 2 years, and after a decade, you are only around $70,000. Results from a job move vary widely by field, location, and timing. Periodically testing the market is not betrayal. It is information. This does not mean changing jobs every few months or leaving a role that is building rare skills. It means keeping your resume current, talking to people in your field, and learning what comparable roles pay. Consider a move only when it is materially better for your career, finances, and life. Loyalty should be earned by both sides. Eighth, treat high-interest consumer debt like the emergency it is. Not all debt is identical. A mortgage or education loan may have a different purpose and rate than a credit card balance used for past consumption. But high-interest debt is a machine that charges you for yesterday while stealing options from tomorrow. The source cites average credit card APRs at 22.11% in 2026. At that rate, a $10,000 balance costs around $185 a month in interest alone. That is money that buys no new service, no asset, and no future freedom. It simply keeps the old balance alive. Make the interest rate visible. List every balance, minimum payment, and APR. Protect essential cash, then direct extra payments toward the highest rate while keeping all accounts current. If you need help, contact a reputable nonprofit credit counselor or your lender before the situation gets worse. Shame makes debt expensive for longer. A plan makes it finite. Finally, be careful about buying more car than your life needs. A car payment rarely arrives alone. Insurance, maintenance, fuel, registration, parking, repairs, and depreciation all stack on top of the number in the ad. The latest confirmed average transaction price was about $50,000 in late 2025, and a typical payment is about $750 a month. Add the hidden costs, and ownership can exceed $1,000 per month. Now picture Eric, who buys the new model because everyone at work seems to be upgrading. The payment feels manageable. Then insurance rises, tires wear out, and a repair arrives just after the warranty ends. The car is still beautiful, but it is quietly taking the place of investing, travel, and career flexibility. The real price was never just the sticker. The source's alternative is a reliable 3-year-old used car with about 30,000 miles. It cites an average used car payment of $537, a difference of $213 a month from the new car payment. At an 8% annual return, investing that monthly difference for 10 years could grow to about $39,000. Again, condition, financing, and maintenance matter. The point is to buy transportation that supports your life, not a monthly bill that performs status for strangers. Wealth is not built by never enjoying your life. It is built by noticing which choices repeat, which costs compound, and which decisions make your future self less free. Pick the city that expands your opportunities. Keep enough cash to breathe, but not so much that fear runs the entire plan. Build relationships with financial honesty. Ignore the performance of wealth. Understand equity. Invest with patience. Know your market value. Eliminate punishing debt. And let your car be useful before it is impressive. If this gave you one decision to rethink, subscribe for more practical money conversations. Like this video so it reaches someone who needs it, and comment with the wealth killer you have seen most often in your own life. The biggest financial change may not start with a coupon. It may start with one honest choice you make this week.